Chapter 3 takes a break from the mob life and takes a trip down to the past with Frank Sheeran's childhood. It's a great insight into a boy that would become the man who would apparently kill over 20 people. He had a tough upbringing, restricted by poverty. He was regularly beaten by his father for his rebellious ways and was constantly in trouble at school. Frank goes into detail about how he was always fighting as a kid. He was usually bigger and tougher than the other kids, and sometimes the fighting was to survive, sometimes it was to punish other kids who laughed at his stammer, and sometimes it was just because that's all the kids had to do at the time. He links it to his grandchildren's soccer and Little League games and shrugs that there was nothing like that back then. Looking back, Sheeran believes that the fighting made him tough, mentally and physically, taught him a lot, and the lifestyle made an entire generation prepare for the horrors of World War II. In order to make ends meet, he and his father would steal crops and corn from the local farmers, being chased and shot at as they ran back to the car. It was not uncommon to be hit on the side of his head by his dad. And Sheeran recalls that people and family in general did not show a lot of affection to each other during the Depression. He never even remembers being kissed by his mother. When he was at one of his schools, he got on the wrong side of the principal, who called him to his office. He slapped Frank on the back of his head, which must have triggered something in the Irishman because he launched himself at him, breaking the man's jaw in one punch. Despite being expelled and knowing a beating waited for him at home, all he could seemingly think about was he just knocked a grown man out. And when he stepped through the front door of his house, his father tossed a pair of boxing gloves at him, a signal to get ready for a beating. And for the first time in his life, Frank threw them back at his dad, saying that he would never hit him but told his father to get yourself another punching bag, and to take a look. Frank Sheeran had seemingly realized what he was capable of and, being 16 years old, saw that he was now a man himself.